afternoon, my lovelies. Welcome to Werewolf at the Movies. I am a werewolf. And today have I got a little present for you. Yet another deserted road. Lots of empty fields. The snow is melted, like I said in my last video. And nothing's grown. But you can see how barren it is, eh? I just said A twice. Now I'm just your typical real Canadian. If you guys ever had any doubts if I was Canadian, just listen to what I say and how I say it. Alright, so today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. And I will explain why it's different. And some of you might not even know. So that explanation might be like some Jeopardy material for you. But today I'm going to be reviewing the film It. Yes, It. The one with the clown. And the reason why I say this one's a little bit different is because Stephen King, it's actually called Stephen King's It. But, more bikers. Where was I? Yeah, right. So it's called Stephen King's It. But Stephen King is notorious for making novellas and books and things that require a lengthy video or a lengthy DVD. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it takes longer than 2 hours. Point in case, you have Shawshank Redemption, which is a longer film. And you have Green Mile, all of which he wrote. So, anyways, the original iteration of It was actually a miniseries, and some of you might know that, some of you might not know that. That's the kind of interesting part. And I don't know when it was aired, but I think, you know what? And it was aired in the early 90s. And I don't know how they split it up, though. I don't know whether it was 3 episodes of an hour apiece or what. But, oh man, I love living out here. Bikers everywhere. And it's cool, man, because everybody waves, too. Ah, it's a drug deal. Drug deal going down. Or something. Anyways, so it was in the early 90s. And when It came out, like I said, I don't know what the timeline of each episode was, but I'm going to assume that, because the film is 3 hours long, or I think it's like 2 hours and 58 minutes long, or something like that. It's pretty damn near 3 hours. So I'm thinking it was in three separate blocks of 1 hour. And the film can really be kind of cut into 2 parts. And if you haven't seen it, this isn't giving anything away. This is just, consider it a portion of the plot, but it's not it's not gonna fucking give you the ending away or anything. So, the first portion of the miniseries, or of the film, depending on how you bought it, because you can actually buy the miniseries as one film, it was divided into 2 parts. So the first part had to do with the actors as children, and then the second part had to do with the actors as adults. Now, where it gets tricky with my review is that I'm going to give you the list of the actors, the more well-known actors, and I'll explain when they're in the film as being adult or child. So the first guy we have is Jonathan Landis.
Go bug somebody else, you little cootie. I don't feel so hot.
And as some of you might know, Jonathan Landis isn't around anymore. He actually committed suicide. I believe what happened was, obviously he was depressed, but he was supposed to be in a film, I believe, and they had cut him out of the film. If I'm not mistaken, that film was Heart's War. Don't quote me on that, but I believe I'm correct. Anyways, Jonathan Landis appears in this film, obviously, as a child. There is Seth Green.
Mr. Marsh. Great. Just great. You, Mr. Marsh. You down here? Probably drunk as a skunk.
He also appears as a child. Now, getting into the adult portion of the film, I don't mean adult as in pornographic, so please get your minds out of the gutter. Save it for later, if you know what I'm saying. You have John Ritter.
Damn it, Bev, is that you in there? Is that the clown? I don't know what the hell is going on. How am I supposed to know?
John Ritter, obviously, he's not around either. He passed away from if I'm not mistaken, it was an aorta that ruptured or unattached itself from his heart. I don't know how that happens, but that's scary as shit that it happens. Either way, he was well known for many, many things. You may know him from such films as Problem Child 1 and 2, or from the TV show 8 Simple Rules to Dating My Teenage Daughter. And yeah, so in this film, he plays an older version of one of the kids, obviously because he's in the second part of the film. Also, in both portions of the film is Tim Curry.
Aren't you going to say hello?
Now, that name might not ring a bell for many of you, but you'd know his face if you saw it. If you've seen Home Alone 2, he is the concierge, the guy who busts Macaulay Culkin for having his dad's credit card. He thinks it's stolen. That guy. And Tim Curry plays the clown, otherwise known as It. Now, I've never taken you guys on this road, and I've never taken you this... What? No, I lied to you. I've taken you this far before, because we went to BC together, you and I. Anyways, yeah, back to the film. So the premise of the film is that there is a killer clown, and it's I don't want to call him mystical, because it's not mystical. It's not like a ghost or anything. But it is a demon. There's a good word. It's a demon that comes around every 30 years and preys on children. So the first part of the film deals with these kids and how they overcome this demon, but don't kill him. They just overcome him. Keep that in mind. And then it goes to the second part of the film when these kids are adults and this demon, this It, comes back to life. And basically, the film is very Stephen King-ish. It's quirky and it's weird, and there's, I don't know, man, there's some sort of vibe to it that is super awesome. And I love this film, but because it's so long, and I was a huge fan of the first portion of the film and a kind of a mediocre fan of the second portion of the film, I am going to be rating this film 6.5 creepy clowns.
I'll kill you all.
Out of 10. 6.5 creepy clowns out of 10. So hopefully you guys go and check this film out. I would suggest buying it because it's one of those films that it's timeless, I suppose, is a good word for it. You know, it doesn't get old. And the only way you know it's old is you look at the clothing and stuff like that. But you know, it's fairly well done. I mean, the story, like I said, drags on a little bit longer than it probably should. But all in all, it's pretty damn sweet. That being said, I am Werewolf. Ahead of me is a small town called Legal. Yes, legal. It's pronounced legal, spelled legal. And the speed limit in this town is super slow. I know it says 50 right here on this sign, but I assure you it's actually 40 on the next sign that's coming up here. So I will leave you be. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Werewolf, like I said. Thanks for watching Werewolf at the Movies. And until next time, folks, keep it real.